Nice, nice.
Yeah. So I
When
think
did
this.
you get there?
Now I can talk. I got here. I want to
Oh
say like
gosh.
15 minutes ago.
Okay, that's your sound. From the Bluetooth, right?
Okay. Can you hear
It's
me?
fine. Yeah, I can hear you, but it's a little muffled, but it's fine.
Okay. Is that better or no?
It's good. It's actually it's okay. It's not so bad for Bluetooth. Actually, my wife tried several times to do Bluetooth with her work, and the results were bad.
Well, the you hearing me should be coming through the phone anyway. It's not like this has a microphone in it. These are just headphones.
Oh,
So
really?
the sound, yeah. So the sound shouldn't have changed. I
Okay.
don't think. But
Maybe,
if I
yeah.
if,
Maybe it's psychological, whatever.
um I'll flip this, maybe that'll make it a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
Oh. So you
Did
just
you?
got there?
Yeah. I just got here now. The There you go. Yeah. It's from the moment I got into the city, I had to run around. Had to run to uh, my friend's place, who I had the books shipped
Right.
to his house. So I had to go there and pick that up, and I had to finish some artwork and things like that. And then woke up the next day, did more stuff, went to the bar, had the event. After the event, went to another friend's house for some after hours or after party thing. Uh, Woke up, had brunch with them. Then I went to uh, Union Square in Manhattan to meet up with my old roommate and to see his daughter. And then I was worried that I was like, I think I might have to do the Zoom with Rafa, like in a park, like just because I was like, I don't have a place where I can go to. My brother was running around doing other stuff, but it all, as my brother likes to say, it all worked out.
Yeah.
Um,
So you
uh,
got a lot of catching up when you come here. I'm assuming.
uh, yeah, and it's never, it ends up never being like enough time, right? So I just have to figure out, okay, on this trip, who am I going to see, blah blah blah, who I'll catch next time around. Um,
Are you
but
going by the bar? Are you stopping at the bar and see people?
well, the bars where I had the event. The event was at the bar that I used to work at. Except in the book it's called G Lounge, but the bar now is called Rebar. So I did get to see some of the old staff that they're still working there and stuff. Um, yes, it was. It's weird just being in New York in general and remembering how I used to be and the life that I used to have. Uh, and when I had the dogs and I was walking the dogs and stuff. So yeah, it's been an interesting experience, but it's good. How have you fully recovered now from Seattle? Are you?
Oh yes, yes, yeah, yeah. It's been a while. Actually, yeah. We're finally fully settled. We had to deal with a bunch of things here at the apartment, but yeah, now it's settled, and we're happy with that.
And how was the experience of the house swap? Did that go well too, or like
Oh, it went
overall?
really well. It went really well. Um, yeah, we didn't find our home trashed or anything like that. Um, and we also
And
tried
your
to take.
cat, your cat has finally forgiven you for leaving for so
Right.
long.
Yeah, the cat was very calm after we came back, because I guess the people who swapped with us were very nice caregivers, or maybe I don't know, like they were very nice with the cat. So, and we're nice with him now as well. So all in all, the cat is happy.
Okay. Um, I got I put in the next 4. So every Monday on that page, the My Community Party, every Monday,
Yeah.
I scheduled it for the rest of this month. That it'll say like, oh, July 5th, whatever. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to go ahead and schedule all the ones for that need to go up in August and September and October. I'll put all this in there. And for Instagram, there is a way to schedule it so it goes out on Instagram as well at the same time. That way you don't have to do double the work, right? So, but I have to connect your Instagram account to the
Oh
Facebook
yeah.
account.
Okay.
Um, I I'll text you it whatever it is that they ask. That when I did it for mine, I can't remember what it was. I think they probably just want um they probably want the username and the password for the Instagram account so that they can be linked. And that way, every Monday, and I thought Monday was the best way to promote it because Monday are the people who are free on Monday, the people who would see it on a Monday would probably be the people who would be free to go to the Zoom, the link, right? Um, so that's why I chose Monday to be the day that it comes out. But we can always, and that it's always going to be 1 o'clock, so that helps as well. Um, the what I want to do now is also for the French MBA to schedule those to go out, do a promo so that it automatically is just done. That way you don't have to remember. I don't have to remember like, oh, we have to post it. When do you want when is the French BA starting? Is it in August or is it going to
Yeah.
start in July?
August. Yeah.
August. And it's
August
going to
3rd.
that first. Okay.
So yeah. I also have a huge to-do list. uh,
Well, I can scheduling the post for those for the French MBA. I can start, and I think that's the part where if we start it tomorrow, right? Start scheduling those and putting those out, and that one we can schedule so that it goes out even twice a week, as long as it looks a little bit different or whatever. But if the French MBA, all you need is 4 people to have an ad going out for it every week for the next 4 or 5 weeks on Instagram and Facebook. That I think that'll help.
yeah. Uh,
What are you thinking?
um, yeah. I mean, I think that it's a flyer, so it's not of high quality, but yes, it does have to be out there. I agree.
It more to create the awareness. Now to do something that has more engagement that will kind of pull people in.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what platforms there'll be. I mean, if it was like a video ad or something like that, sure.
Right. So I'm gonna
But
do a video every week, and yeah, the quality of the video is hopefully going to improve through the weeks. And it's 100. It's in French. It's in French. I hope it's not too difficult. I think it's fine. Uh, I could do it in English too, but the leadership program is for advanced folks in French, so they probably understand all of it. And also, it's good practice for me to practice my speaking skills. And God knows I have a lot of progress to make.
okay, so let me ask you this.
But I could do it in English too. I don't know. I could do
Well,
two videos.
okay, when it comes to doing the videos, here's one idea: is that you know what the French MBA is supposed to look like, right? In terms of how that interaction is going to look, you talking to the 4 people, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
What if you had with one of your sessions, right? Let's just say it could be somebody in the group at the Rubies, or if you could ask certain people that you know, whatever. But to just say, hey, I want to do this session. After we're done here, I just need 5 minutes where I'm going to throw a topic out or I'm going to do whatever. And then you just, it's almost like a rehearsal or I guess they call it a dramatization. So if you have 4 people in the Zoom already for whatever session it was, like the Rubies or whatever, you said, hey, I'm doing this French MBA thing. If anybody is interested in just, obviously just to volunteer, do whatever, we're going to go ahead and talk about this particular topic just for 5 minutes. That way, I think that would work if you did a video where it's just you, your face, right? Like, let's say you see me right now, I'm like, hey, I'm Rafa Rodriguez, and I'm going to be doing the French MBA, which is blah, blah, blah. And here's a preview of what the French MBA looks like. And then boom, you show you on the Zoom with the people interacting and talking. Because like you said, you like it more when there's other people there. You just talking into the camera is, for you, it just doesn't feel as good. And also because I think for people to see, I think if I were somebody and I see like, oh, there's a French MBA and I see people talking, that's going to get me curious. Obviously, a flyer creates awareness. But if I'm like, oh, wow, let me see what it's like, and they get to see the different people talking, that might help them understand better what French MBA is by actually seeing it in action. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because nobody's going to read whatever's written over there on the the pitch that I wrote, trying to explain the process of a workshop, and then giving feedback, and producing, topics in French. All of that is
Well,
very
they'll
abstract.
they'll they'll read that stuff if they get the curiosity. So if you say on Facebook, like they see that there's a video thing being shown, that would people love to click on that. They just want to see, oh, there's a bunch of people talking. Let me see what they're talking about. Even I would do that just to see
So
what the engagement is.
I think that's a good idea. I think I could have volunteers to to just discuss with me about this concept of the French MBA, my French MBA, what it is, and what they, how they themselves experienced it within the Rubies, for example.
Right.
But I think I'm going to continue doing videos. The 5 minute, 6 minute video,
Yeah.
and using the topics that some of these topics are being brought into that leadership program. So the question is, I could also do them in English. Why not? It's not so much work. It's a little bit of work, and I don't have an editor. I was using Movie Maker. It's a free editor. Uh,
I use iMovie
you
on
use
my
what?
laptop. iMovie, which is on my, I have an
iMovie?
Apple, I have a Mac. So
Right.
iMovie is what I use to edit my videos. But
Right.
Movie
So
Maker,
yeah, it's
I've never.
Windows. So I know
Your
this.
computer is Windows? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's not bad. Well, that's where when you're doing your 5 minute videos, right? That's one thing.
Because
I'm not
I'm
sure
thinking
how.
I'm thinking in terms of the videos. If I'm not doing them in English, you cannot help in terms of, and it's also I'm thinking that it might also interest me to do it in English, like both versions, like, but two separate, actually, like switching. I'm not sure. I'd rather like do one English for minutes. It's the same thing. It's the same video, so it should be straightforward. And also,
And
you could have a look at that one, and that one you could actually give me your opinion because it's in English.
when you're talking about the editing, you mean the editing as in what you'll be
Very
saying?
simple. Oh, no, editing is like, thank you, love. I have some tea. It's just, cutting a sequence, then having maybe a question, even maybe introducing some music, So I didn't put any music in this one that I just did on inauthenticity. You know, choose authenticity when you can.
Well, these videos, if they're gonna be YouTube videos, the sound will cut out. They won't let you use it if it's music.
Right, you have to take music that's free of property rights, probably.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always to me very annoying. Um, the I think so. If you you think you could have a group, you know, 3 people, whatever, to do uh like a practice French MBA thing, so you can use that for the ad as a promotion?
So I think that having testimonials and for them to specifically, you know, give their opinion of you know, what it is, and they have a taste of it. Also, it would be great for me to have like feedback from them um, as well. But the version that I'm doing with the rubies is not that intense. It's more we're less it's much less intense. Like
Less intense
it's more
because it's
like a
not like
marathon. You know, it's more like you show up and you know, it's very relaxed. You know, there's a lot of casualness in it. The French
okay.
MBA
So
is much more intense, and yeah,
if
dude,
it's much more intense, so
yeah.
then how would you want to show that so that people know that it's intense, but also show it in a way that like, oh, that's intense, but I love it. You know, that
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like intense.
yeah,
It's just me a lot of
and that's
of
why
work.
that's why it's 2 months. You know, it's 2 months, then it stops because it's in a foreign language and it's intense. So how? Because I think like the rubies have been doing it for a year, and to be able to show up for a year is, you know, gives you an experience of also, you know, there is stamina, there is, you know, it's a different feeling, but it's still, I think it's similar in that way that, you know, these people showed up for a year in French and at 3 hours at least per week. So in the long run, yes, they were not required to. Nothing's required, obviously, but it depends on you. But there were no real structure in terms of deadlines and um, you know, topics that you need to post for you to complete the program. Uh, but and that was on a voluntary basis. So they have obviously produced a lot of work, and just by showing up, you know, man, it's hot here. I don't know. I'm
Well,
liking air. I've been inside working. Let me just open a little bit.
did you cut your hair?
Yeah, my wife cut my hair yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, because when you turned, I was like, it looks like, and I didn't even realize you had it like in the ponytail. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh wow, it's all shaved on the side. That looks cool. You look even younger now.
I don't know if I like my new style. I'm still trying to adapt to it.
This is the
I look
first
like,
time you have that style.
yeah, I look like a stranger or like you know, I think it's very New Jersey style.
Yeah, I'll give you.
Right?
And that is not it's not a bad thing, right? And you do live in Jersey,
Right.
so um, well, okay. So the idea for um the ad, let's say for the French MBA, and also for the Delft, is to do a video ad. You would want it to be under a minute. because it has to be under a minute to be able to post it on Instagram.
Right.
So it's a very quick video considering how much content you're going to want to put in there. So to do a video, and then depending on how well you post things on Instagram, you you can repost it, again and again. So it's just going to be, well, I would say, well, the ad has to say that it's August 3rd. Are you, when it comes to a script, right? Like what you're going to say in the video, do you tend to struggle with that or no?
Yeah, that's why I love that new project of posting a video per week that is structured and that goes to the point. That will help me improve my my speak my yeah my ability to speak in an impactful way.
Well, the thing is, if you speak in an impactful way all the time in your with your rubies, with all the people in your groups, but I know it is different to do it to a camera where there's no one around, right? That is that's a lot tougher. But I was gonna say I won't necessarily script it. I can do one of the French MBA, right? If I do an ad under maybe like let's say 59 seconds and I have that video, then talking about August 3rd, it wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing where like if I did my video obviously in English, you do one in French and in English, but we can use my version of what I'm showing you of how to do it. We can also use that to post because then it looks like it's somebody different. That way it doesn't look like you're putting up the same video over and over. That's totally fine too. It's I think that Facebook, Instagram, in terms of just like talking about
Right.
what
So
it is, it could be
yeah,
59 seconds.
exactly. I think we already did an ad, the session when I was in Seattle and we didn't go live, and we put the 5 ingredients in there. You know,
Oh, that and the ad that we
yeah,
put all the things to
these are
describe
like the
the
5 ingredients. Like, uh, you have to,
scarcity,
right.
value, all of
Yeah,
the five
market
things.
market fit. What was it? Uh, yeah, you have to show value in the ad. You have to show that it's a fit for the person that you're targeting. That okay, this thing answers my needs. You have to, yeah,
Scarcity,
create scarcity. What else was there?
value, fit, scarcity. Um, wasn't something like how fast it had to be done? Like there's a timeline.
Exactly.
Like it was
Urgency is one of them.
urgency,
Yeah. Value. Huh. Value.
value, fit, scarcity, urgency.
And it's probably my fault that
I have it written here.
the sprint, was canceled because I didn't work on that. And it's a shame because it was great for everyone. And Conan was, being a sprinter, and Risha was also happy to, use the platform and have a new group and offer that new offer. So, but anyways, 4 types of, uh, yeah,
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. Like in terms of how that um and how that went, and to make sure that that's not that doesn't happen. Again, how to better like promote it, how to better put it out there, what platforms to do it with. That video is that's the kind of thing that I think can just go a long way.
yeah.
Um,
I don't want the same to happen. That we didn't work on this enough that we're gonna have to cancel, and one person is going to be disappointed. And next time I cancel, I won't use the refund button on Stripe because that takes 10 days to refund a customer. So
Okay, so we know that now as well.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Now, all right. So when do you think? Because this is what I'm just telling you what I see. It's Sunday, right? And for you, most of the stuff you try to get done, you do on the weekends, and
yeah,
it's Sunday.
yeah,
I can tell you've had a long, it's a long weekend, a long weekend. So,
yeah. Actually, I'm
when
getting
do you?
better. I'm getting better at you know, just tackling the subject at hand and not uh just targeting what needs to be done and just doing that. Uh, so I don't know if I'm answering. What's I don't even. Yeah, I cut you off.
Well, so my question is, what day? When do you think you'll do? If you're going to do a video each week, what? It's good to pick a specific day that you're going to make that video.
Yeah,
As in, like you'll now for some people, it's really good to do the recording and the editing at two different times.
yeah. That's what I
If
did.
you wait till you can do them both, it's too much.
Yeah.
So when do you think? On what day do you think you would do the editing of it so that it's finished?
So I
If you're
like.
doing it,
Yeah. If yeah.
you're doing it once a week. So
Exactly.
what day of the week do you think you'd do it?
Yeah. So Friday, doing the rushes, like taking
During the
recording myself,
rushes?
like recording on Friday and editing on Sunday. Just like I mean, if that's what I did this week, the result is what it is because it's the first one.
Okay. So then what we can do then is we can just say that uh by Monday morning, um you'll send me a video,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I'll send you a video. Why not? I do that with there's a client of mine who when he has to send me the video, uh I get it at like 4 o'clock in the morning
My gosh.
on Monday morning because he doesn't leave it all to the last minute. But what happens is when you start working on the video, like, oh, I should do this. Okay. It's like takes forever to decide, okay, now I'm going to sit down and do it. But once you start doing it, it always takes super long time. Fine.
Yeah.
But that has worked really, really well to go ahead and have to, have a specific day of when I'm going to do that video. Whether the video is fantastic or you think it's horrible, you send the video every
Exactly.
every Monday.
Yeah.
And so today is Sunday. I'm going to send you my video. You'll get my video tomorrow by 12 p.m. You're laughing.
Yeah, because you're not giving yourself enough room. I think you should give yourself the entire week. Like you should give yourself like at least 2 or 3 days. Like
Well, and this is
because
this is the part that I'm trying
because
to show you.
I think it's a good idea
Instead,
to separate the editing from the. And I re-recorded just one part of the video, so the result, and I didn't have the same. Basically, I don't have a setup to assemble these videos, so the result is what it is.
well, exactly. So one thing what I want to show you is that when I send you a video tomorrow, it's not going to have like all of because I wouldn't have the time, but it's not going to have all the editing for it. I'm just going to send you what the raw footage of the video looks like, right? And you'll see that when we meet on Friday, I will show you what the edited version looks like. But one of the mistakes that people make, a lot of people make with video, which makes them stop doing the video, is that they make it harder than it has to be. It doesn't have to
Yeah,
be so much. And
yeah,
this video that I'm talking about the one that's only going to be under a minute to throw into Instagram and stuff. I'm talking about that video. The other video where it's like, the 5 minute and so forth, that's a different story. But I know that your schedule is so tight. I don't think I feel like if you try to make it so that you can sit down and really do the video the best way it could possibly be and all that, then it might not happen because you might not actually have
yeah,
logistically, you might not have the time.
No, I'm just releasing stuff, and it's imperfect, but that's it. It's very, very imperfect. I know how to improve it like right away.
Okay.
um,
So
but yeah, it's not
you'll,
so difficult. But yeah, let's just yeah. And
but
it's also I'm not targeting the perfectionist. I'm targeting actually I'm doing it for myself. There's also something in it for me that
okay,
uh,
good.
I want to practice these skills of the art of speaking and being impactful when you do. Um, and yeah,
All
so
right. So, okay. So
I
then your
I'm even okay
video,
when there's like a French mistake. I saw like because sometimes like for example on Friday I was a little bit maybe not I was a little bit since it was the first video and I'm not talking to someone I got stressed out and I made a French mistake very easy to find and
okay.
actually it's great because I can tell those folks hey guys can you spot that mistake so yeah
That's good.
yeah
I like that. And I think people like that. It makes it all seem much more genuine, more real. You laugh, but I think it's true. So when do you feel you'll have the video to send me?
I already have it the video from Friday I just did something but it's in French so I think that
Okay.
let me
So
try and
you
do
saying
it an English video so I can commit
okay.
to both languages right now, right after this call, if I still have some strength after that call, and I have other stuff to do. But yeah, let me try and do the recording now, and maybe do the editing sometime during the week and send it midweek, the English version of that
Okay.
video.
All right. Now, uh,
And then from then on, I can try and do both English and French. It's also fun.
okay. So the idea that I wanted to pitch to you, okay, um, also has to do with video. But what if you and I made, and this is more to help develop a format for you when it comes to some of the other video stuff. But what if you and I structured these sessions in a way as if we assume that there was an
Yeah.
audience?
Oh, that would be
So,
amazing.
and so the meetings, we will make sure it'll be almost like what we would like when we have the My French Community Party, right? That's a solid hour. And I remember when that part, when we've done those, remember how good it was about the timing of it. Like, okay, so we have 10 minutes left, let's do this and so forth. And we made that hour. So
Yeah. Yeah.
when we get on those sessions, right, uh, it'll be like, you know, you introduce yourself, introduce myself, blah, blah, blah. And I think that some of the stuff that I have to, if there's some stuff that we have to go over, like where it's like, oh, well, okay, the Instagram, the more technical stuff, whatever we can do in the later part. And then some of the more dynamic stuff will be in the beginning that people would find more
Okay.
like
Yeah.
engaging. And
Yeah.
we'll,
Kind of like
and coming up
a script to the conversation. To
a
the
script to the conversation and picking what the topic would be, so because even if we do the 5 minute of introducing this and that whatever and talking about different things, like, okay, so we're going to spend 20 minutes, because I remember usually the part that is the most dynamic in terms of what people would enjoy
yeah.
um is at the end of our sessions. Like
Yeah.
if we might have talked for however long, and then at the end all of a sudden we get into something that's like this great just conversation. It's like, oh, this should have been on YouTube Live or something like that. But this time to structure it that way.
Yeah.
If we do that, there's two things. One, of course, it'll be recorded, so then you can put that on the YouTube channel. You could have that video to YouTube
Yeah.
and just giving it a certain title. We give the sessions a name. That was one thing that I was still trying to figure out what we would call those sessions. But um, if and so in terms of doing the sessions and putting them up on YouTube, that's a given. It's automatic, and it'll always be like an hour, so people would kind of like be able to understand that as if it was like almost like a TV show thing. Sure. If you if we were to
This
have
is a
it at a
reality
set,
TV show.
sure. If we were to have it every,
But there's
I
no
mean, it would
sex,
be
so
well.
just kidding.
It'd be great if we could say, oh, and this we're doing this every Friday at 5 o'clock, but sometimes your schedule, my schedule doesn't allow for that, right?
Yeah, once a week
So
is fine. Doesn't matter.
I mean, we do once a week. They just so what I would say is this: that instead of saying, oh, on YouTube Live, we're always going to be live at Friday at 5 o'clock. We won't have that. But when the recording of it gets put onto YouTube, that can be done at the same time every week, if
Okay.
that makes sense to you.
Yeah, but give me the content, like how we will,
Structure it.
script this in advance. Yeah. I'm more
Okay. Well,
than I mean, it gives me also something to think about, something to prepare. It's great, and I think if you're not against it, Rise is a great thing to use. It's very easy. We don't need to install any other thing. You just create a topic per week where you can say you can kind of prescript what the parts of our conversation will look like, or a theme, or I don't know. Yeah.
okay. So then this is where, um, if the thing is an hour, okay, then there's we would say 20 25 minutes of whatever the topic, the discussion part, right, would be. And then 25 minutes of the more technical stuff,
Yeah.
maybe. And
Yeah.
then just a 5 minutes for the opening and 5 minutes for the closing. So the 25 minutes in the beginning, that's just like the topic or whatever. My question to you, well, actually, I don't even have to ask you. You could actually put it on Rise and ask people, what would you like the topics to be? Because
Yeah.
this is something that kind of always stuck in my head. And then finally, when I got my idea this week in terms of formatting it like this, is that was Emmanuel,
Yeah.
when he said that he watched us, okay, and he stayed after of that the community party. He stayed after to just watch us keep talking. All right. I kept thinking, this is someone who's watching us and enjoys watching us. And I didn't even realize there was an audience. So I certainly wasn't trying to be engaging or anything like that. I said, but if he was like that when we weren't really even trying, imagine if we structured something that was like that, that people would watch and so forth and have that kind of engagement. So I think on Rise, that would be a great way to go ahead and say, hey, what kind of stuff would you guys want to talk about or want to discuss, things like that. On your end, when you do all of your sessions, whether it's the casual Saturdays or the Rubies or whatever throughout the week, you might see something and like, oh, you know what, this will be a good thing to talk about at the session for that first part of what you and I do, of what holds good. The same thing that, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about how to live, your best life.
I could give you a topic for today, for example. Topic for today, in terms of basically, it's a topic related to entrepreneurs building a small business with big ideas. I would say, it's your thing. And topic of the day, topic of the week is maybe so Isabel, for example, she's had a surgery, and there's going to be a 2-week break. So, and that I want to do that thing, like create that leadership program for advanced people in French, using that model of the Alt MBA. And that I have also the Rubies. So it's that topic actually was a topic I read from Seth Godin. He has his own blog, and he's talking about, at some point you have to make choices. At some point, maybe you want to choose, or you want to pivot what you choose to do. So maybe that subject, could be a subject for today, for this week. And it's a reflection more than just a decision. It's just, a conversation, and how you and you. I think that topic also might interest you, because you've got your book, you wrote your book, and now all of a sudden your drawings are getting attention. You've been invited by some organizations to become the host of some events, and you're also continuing, to have to have what you do is being a creator, a creative consultant, someone that is very creative, and that people who are your clients can rely on, can have that long conversation, can it's also kind of like a space for us to just not expecting much. So that's also like, that might be like a point, because if we structure too much our interaction, then maybe what you're bringing to the table, for, I'm speaking to me, but I'm sure your other clients, the other people you work with, is it going to be as good if we are too structured? Because I love the fact that you come up with surprises, also.
Well, okay, for I would say it's let's say
And it's
for the
relaxed,
next
we don't take ourselves too seriously here, celebrating
well
your journey with Achilles. I'm not taking myself seriously at all. Just, but it helps me to focus on what I want to do. It helps me to think about it. It's a space that, I can do that with you.
well, okay, and this is why in terms of when we do something that's more structured, it's only in the sense that it's what we were already doing before, but the structure is that we're just shaping it so that it is more dynamic. But
It's almost a
what you were
place
just
where you
saying,
can be authentic, because most of the time, you try to build a building, you try to build uh, an image. You don't want, you want to be perfect. You want to send out your video and it's going to be perfect. You don't want your customers, your current customers, to be afraid that you might let them down, or I don't know, but
well, I mean, let's say, for example, what you had said before about like something that could be working as a topic is when people, these choices that they're making, right? Um, if we were to say that for our next session in terms of structuring, all we need to know is, all right, so we're going to spend 25 minutes talking on about what 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 is it that happens? What is it that's needed for someone to go from having the desire for something to making the decision to have it? Because we all have desires. Oh, I want to go to this place. Oh, I want to have this kind of, oh, I want to paint and I want to be in an art gallery. I want to run a marathon. I want to, we all have these desires. But what is it that makes the person decide to finally do it? Because not everybody does. Some people say I have to have a bucket list of all the things they want to do before they die. Some people do that. And some people don't. Some people go their whole lives talking about, I want to do it, I want to do it. But what makes someone actually decide it? That, if we say that's the topic, you and I could talk, yeah, we just talk for 25 minutes, just being you and me. We would do that more so in the beginning. But what would end up happening is that if we started doing that next week, by the time it's September, there'll be 8 videos there on the YouTube channel of us, and people just know, like,
right.
wow, this one they're talking about making that decision. And you and I both know it isn't just about the decision to learn French. This is stuff that people can use for their lives in all different,
Yeah.
ways.
So
But
I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking that actually it might be wiser to leave it at the end, and then you can, at the end, because you know when I'm with you, I just, there's all these things that are in the way of just speaking freely. I want to see, there's stuff that needs to be done, sending emails, doing the marketing, doing the promotion, doing the ad, uh, you know, uh,
But which is that is fine. We can certainly do it at the end. In the first 5 minutes when we come on and introduce us, we tell them, and stick around because then we're going to get into the blah
yeah,
blah blah. Sure. I mean,
yeah,
and it can always be like, I don't know how to do it, but I obviously we've seen it done where people on the videos they put the chapters. So if somebody just wants to go straight to that chapter,
yeah, and
they can always do
you
that
can
too.
cut that in also, and just
Well,
have something.
actually that's true. When you record it, the part of what we're talking about in terms of the business, you could actually just take that out if you wanted to. I mean,
Exactly,
it,
exactly.
and
But
just keep.
having a moment, just for that is I think great, because otherwise you have to edit the video. Who knows? You know.
Yeah, I think that that's true because we make that way we can make sure that we do get the business stuff taken care of, and then having those other videos.
Right.
What I like about those videos is that we can really just be ourselves, but really get into what the purpose, what is the driving motivation behind French MBA or my French community party or just the rubies and stuff like that, as well as other things with life
Oh,
in
Planet
general.
Achilles. Planet Achilles as well.
Planet Achilles, sure.
Yeah.
but but
No, no, for sure, 100% for sure.
because I do see that the people that are in my French community, they all do it. They all there's a similarity with how they live their life. I remember when I went with Shammy to run the New York Marathon, and we went to go pick up your number, right? The bib. You had to go to the Javits Center. We went to the Javits Center. I was never a runner like for marathons and stuff like that. Never done anything like that. But when I went to the Javits Center, being around all those people who run marathons, there was something so similar about their energy, the way they approach life. No one was complaining. No one was
Right.
smoking like outside, talking about this
Yeah.
and that. No one was like, they were all just living such a positive type
Yeah.
mindset with their life and all of that. And I thought, wow, this is interesting. I mean, they all run, but there's still something else much that also kind of unites them. And in my friends community, the way that people are interacting with each other, there's this joy that they have in the way that they approach. So I think that these sessions, that part that we would then have, on the tail end, it could really tap into that. I think people would jump into it because it's like, okay, let's keep living our lives that way and just squeeze in the French to and have that happen along the way.
Yeah.
I think that would go. I think that would go well. And then also in Rise, say like, hey, who would, does anybody have any topics they would like to see discussed? Or if you feel, or I just think that in some of your sessions that you would have like casual Saturdays and Sundays, the change my life session thing, that there would be a lot of ideas that come from there or topics.
So yeah, you're saying to ask people about suggestions, but I'm saying that I think we could discuss around, these kind of like business related, like these difficulties, these obstacles, these when we're faced to, because having a small business is, you have an objective, and then you have to show up. Then you have to produce, and then you have the results, and the results are the results.
No,
and
it's true, and people.
and you're helping
I've
us,
seen.
you're helping us doing that. So yeah, I think sticking to that would be great, so that at least we have
Sure.
something in mind, that you can discuss off, because you have all these other people who you're
Oh yeah,
advising.
and there's so many similarities. Some people, of course, have different things, but there's so many different similarities where um, that how many moments small business owners have where they think maybe I should just give up. Maybe this isn't working,
Right, right, right.
and that they feel guilty for thinking that, right? And I'm like, if you never have those moments, then you're practically delusional, because this is how businesses are. Like, it's such a struggle, and you put so much energy in and you're tired. It's like, now, should you give up? I say
Or
no,
should
but
you
it's
double
very,
down? Maybe you
but
didn't
it's
do
very, it's
enough.
yeah, but and that's like, and sometimes it's just, it's very natural to feel that way. The question is, when
Yeah,
you feel like maybe I should give up, when there is a big failure, right? A big setback is a better way to put it. There's this big
yeah,
setback. You thought this was going to be great, and this goes. You, if you lose a big client, or you lose a big account, or your product for whatever reason isn't selling, all of those things, like those things for business owners, uh, it can be very, very tough. And then the idea of a support system is one of the things I would also talk a lot about, because I've noticed that a lot of business owners don't have a very strong emotional support system. Financially, they have like people that they do business with, blah blah
yeah,
blah. But an emotional support system they don't have, and I think that what's
yeah.
dangerous about that is that you a lot of times people are afraid, business owners, small business owners, are afraid to show their uncertainty,
Right.
or their frustration and all that, because they feel that then the business is going to look bad, the business is going to look weak, and they're like, I
Yes.
can't show that. I always have to look, blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
and
But it's
because I'm
tiring to do that, right? Because
it's tiring to do that, and it's also creates a certain level of loneliness. Like
it's
it
also
feels
what?
like it creates loneliness. Like
Loneliness.
it's
Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
secret that you have in
You're
your
the
head
only
that, like,
one
I
who
don't want
knows the
anyone.
reality behind the curtain, that doesn't look so
Yes.
pretty. And you're pretending, yeah, everything is great. I'm such a, I'm a hot shot.
Yeah, and all business owners go through that, and they don't really feel. A lot of them just don't have a place where they could go ahead and say, "My God, this just really
Let me
sucks."
cry here a little bit so that
Yeah,
at least I have, yeah, like you're saying, like an emotional support, uh, an environment where you can do that.
yeah,
And I have to tell you, this happens to all kind of like all level of businesses, even those
absolutely.
who, even the businesses that are huge, they have setbacks too, and there are humans behind businesses, and humans are humans, and they're going to have
Well,
emotions.
and now what does happen with small business, and even with corporations and stuff, depending, because they all have different projects, is that one of the biggest factors for your business to succeed is you convincing people to believe in it the way you
Right,
believe in it, right?
right.
But then if there are moments where your belief is not really as strong as you would want it to be, when your belief is shaking, you're like, I can't let people know that. I can't say that to people, because then you're just hurting your own business. So yeah,
Yeah,
so that kind of stuff I think would be great for people to they can relate it to a lot of other things. I think for parents,
yeah.
first time parents with raising kids and stuff, they have all this guilt and shame
Achilles, why
and
don't we
not,
do that for like a certain period? Let's say, I don't know, 12 weeks. And then maybe having kind of like a, sorry, I cut you off because I had this
no, go
idea.
ahead. Yeah.
And then after the 12 weeks, like we're producing kind of like, I don't know if a book, but kind of like what we believe in and what we discovered through that journey. But sorry, you were saying,
Well, actually, when you say it like that, what could probably work would be, I mean, it'd be kind of like a podcast type format, right? Um, that I think would people would really gravitate to. Like, I just think in terms of, because with the funny thing about the reading, obviously I'm a writer, so
or
I'm
drawing,
always
or I don't know, something
I'm,
kind
I'm
of like,
always a fan of I'm always a fan of writing, but I think I'm just thinking in my mind, a small business owner having this podcast to listen to where they're like, oh, okay, these guys get it. Oh my God, I'm not the only one that feels this way, that has these frustrations, that has these doubts. How do you push them through it? Especially if you don't want to be fake, you don't want to lie, you don't want to pretend. That idea of fake it till you make it, I think uh, is awful. Because for some people, faking it doesn't come naturally, and they don't want to do that, right? So but yeah, I think that there is
It's more
there's definitely
believe it
something to
before you
that.
make it. Yeah, believe it before you make it. But be
Right.
truthful about where you are at, because otherwise you're living in illusion.
Well, I think that there's that illusion that some people have is that they think that their business is supposed to go like this, just very slowly keep
Right.
getting higher and higher and greater and greater. And we all know that it doesn't work that way. There's two steps forward,
Yeah.
one step back, two steps
Yeah.
forward, one step back. And even for my business, some things have happened, and I was like, oh my God, this is just absolutely awful. This is horrendous. And like, I don't even know what I'm doing. And I did have one client who told me uh, that she has so many times. She's like, every time where I think, what the hell did I get myself into? Like, I'm so deep in this, I can't even get out, but it's awful. She said, but then somebody will come in and order a bunch of stuff, and then I feel great again. She's like, I have those moments, but I usually have something that pulls me, you know, out of thinking that way. And I was like, yeah. I said, but you want to make sure that if that thing doesn't happen, if somebody doesn't come in and orders a bunch of stuff, how can you get yourself out of that hole? And
Yeah.
it's okay to be in that hole, but sometimes, I mean, I think you certainly, I think, can be harder on yourself than you need to be, and like no one, there's no way for you to know exactly how fast things are supposed to work, how fast things are supposed to grow, and all of that. We all have in our head how fast we would like it to go, but you know, um, if if one week is better than the week before, then that's how I get through my business. I'm like, is this week better than last week? I don't say, is today better than yesterday? Because if I have a really bad day, I tell myself, let me wait until Sunday, and then I decide about the week, not the day. Because
Right.
if I just let one day define everything, that could send me down a hole for sure. Yeah. And
The
I
same.
remember the last time I had a bad day, it was really, really rough. And I said, I'm just gonna wait till Sunday. And by Sunday, things were
Exactly.
better.
It's always
Yeah.
worse than what we imagine. I mean, these are generalities, and it really depends. But uh, uh, yeah, I'm trying to make sense of all of this.
But
But
I
yeah,
like that idea of the business aspect to it, and discussing, especially for French MBA, right? Like I think people like that would really like that kind of discussion. Um,
yeah,
and and because every anybody who's starting up their own thing, even if you're just a painter, right? And I say just because I'm saying, like, you're not going to have staff or anything like that. You're painting and you might have an exhibit somewhere, but it's just you, right? That's still
yeah,
part of leadership. Anybody
yeah,
that is their own thing, you are a leader. You are a boss. You are in charge, and you have
yeah,
to influence other people to believe in your service, in
exactly.
your product. So the leadership part, which is the part I always say for you, is like, I think that's your best uh, trait. Um, I think that'll go really well. So we just figure I'm gonna write. Um, I'm putting here small business and leadership to figure out a name for what we would call it, but
Yeah,
in leadership, idea. It also
oh,
makes it so much easier to promote something like that. Um, like if I can even tell a difference. Like, oh my God, I'm having so much fun doing these videos, blah blah. You should come check it out.
exactly.
We're just talking about the just businesses and trying to and what it takes to get things off the ground, and how to get past your setbacks. It's such an ease. It doesn't feel like you're selling something, right? You're just sharing this great energy and so forth. Just check it out. It's a podcast, whatever, blah blah blah. And I think that will go well, because my idea is that after 12
Mhm.
weeks of doing this, you know, that the structure will come so naturally for you. I think that you'd be able to have a French version of it with whomever, maybe you could have a different person each week that you're talking to in French about this stuff. Does that make sense?
Say that again. I'm not sure.
I'm saying after 12 weeks, let's say, of you and I doing this,
Yeah, yeah,
the format, the introduction, hey, blah, 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 okay, and we talk about this and so forth, that you could do a French version of the session where it's just the topics and stuff like that, and post those videos as well.
Uh, yeah, but I enjoy it with you.
No, I'm not saying instead of me, ours would continue. I'm saying, but we can't do one in French because I don't speak French. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. The English one, yes, that keeps going. But I'm
Everybody
saying,
speaks
but
English nowadays. It's fine.
do they?
No, they don't. They understand.
they they can understand by listening, which is true. That if we even had a podcast, pretty much everybody would be able to listen. They might not be able to sit there and engage and talk to us, but they could yeah, they'd be able to figure it out. So I'm gonna think of it as a podcast. In fact, I'm going to I'm gonna listen to some podcasts and see how they structure and pull some information.
Yeah,
Because I do the thing I do love about podcasts is that it is a very free conversation,
yeah,
you know, and you don't feel like they're sitting there reading this thing, talking to whatever. It's a
exactly.
good conversation. But they're also smart enough to know we want to keep the audience attention. We don't want to get off in some, you
Right.
know, I'm going to talk about my fish for, 15 minutes. Uh,
Do you have a
that kind of
fish?
thing. I
Yeah,
don't have fish. I wouldn't want fish, but
yeah.
no. I had pets. I would never want pets again. It's it's a big commitment.
All right, yeah. Let's think about this and the format. It can be long, short, 25 minutes. Why not? And then, yeah, maybe we could use. If you're not against it, we can use Rise, and we can exchange at least one post per week about. I did post in the section celebrating the journey, uh,
Oh, well, you know what?
but it was technical
Um,
things, like. And if I look at what we did, virtual party post every Monday, you did it. One video, 5 minutes, I did it. You didn't see it yet, but you're going to laugh.
there's something called Trello that I'm going to set up for us. And Trello is a thing where you go in there
Trello.
and yes,
Yeah, I know
it's good.
Trello. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I mean,
that
I'm not
way
against it either. I'm not against it.
because I remember you had said to me before, like you just to see what the to-do list for me and what it is for you, that kind of stuff. But also on Trello, what I can do is I can put on Trello, I can structure the first 25 minutes, the stuff that we have to do for the business and all that. I can put those in there because I think what will be great is if whatever I'm talking to you about saying, okay, all right, so Rafa, today what we're going to tackle is how to make uh TikTok the thing for. I would never say that to you because TikTok is an absolute nightmare for the only teenagers have time to do it. Although I have to do TikTok for my stuff, but still, if whatever the topic is, then we could also have that second part kind of connect with that if we know enough ahead of time,
Yeah.
because if we were talking about social media, then believe me, every small business owner, everybody has setbacks and frustration in social media and how
Yeah.
much they hate it. They don't want to do it, blah, 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 blah. Is it even worth my time? That kind of stuff. So I
Yeah.
think that would make it look like a really nice, solid, and it would also make people want to listen to the first half as well, because they're going to be like, well, oh, they're talking about Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And they're showing me their technical stuff of what they're going to be doing and how it all works. And then the second half discussing like, yeah, these are the challenges, the setbacks that people might have with
and
their stuff.
and in the podcast we can, I can take my example of my French community and share about this. If today, for example, the subject would have been when to pivot, in a business. Should I go all in on my French MBA, even though it even started. uh, um, Isabel is sick for 2 weeks, so I have to announce that, and I'm not going to do that part of. Yeah, so sharing my own doubts, could give a little bit of color to whatever we're talking about, and then maybe taking examples of other businesses that have gone through the same journey.
Mm.
And then
And
you can ask me questions and ask me to be even more authentic about how I feel and how and how, how this is, how what's behind the curtain, um, and all of that. Yeah, because there's big ideas in small businesses, and then there's this huge gap that needs bridging. And if I don't ask myself the right questions, if I don't put in the work, it's not going to happen by itself.
Right. And I mean, even now, as to think of the different topics, like, you know, when does one, like what you said about when and how to pivot is such an important topic
Yeah,
because because some people, what they think is a setback, what they think is a failure, if anything, it just might be something that
yeah,
if you had just pivoted just 30 minutes before that and done it this way, it would have gone better.
yeah,
So learning how to pivot and how to work that to me is, I'm a very, very big fan of that for
yeah.
sure. Like I had that experience just yesterday at that book signing. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this again. I realize that now, like to do it the way this thing is going, it's like, no, that's not gonna happen. And
What
then so I
happened?
had to, well, it's just the people loving the book, sure, everybody
Yeah,
loved the book. The problem is that at a bar, nobody wants to have to carry it around.
right,
That
right.
that that really that's the whole thing. I was like, they don't want to carry it around.
You have to give it at the
And
end, just like when you buy something at the duty free.
but
You
even
know.
but even at the end, because guess what? It's New York and it's a bar. At the end, they're not going home. They're going to another bar or they're going to this and doing that. Like no one wants to carry it.
You
Now
have to ship it.
In Quakertown, they just put it in their car. Everybody has a car. So
Exactly.
if they're at a restaurant or whatever so forth, they're going to drive to the next spot. They go ahead, they'll get two,
Yeah.
they'll get three, four, whatever, and they just put it in their car. But at a bar, a club, whatever, even a restaurant in New York, I was like, it just that was an issue. That was a big issue. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, this is so great, whatever. And they would take my card, like, oh yeah, I'll order Amazon. They're like, I just don't want. That's what I'm saying. I just don't want to carry it around. I don't want to carry it around. And then some people wanted me to sign the copy that they bought online, but they didn't even bring it. They said I wanted to bring it, but I didn't want to carry it around. I'm telling you, there was like a thing because they said then it would get messed up. I was afraid that I was going to
Yeah.
forget it, all that kind of stuff. So that
That's great. I love that problem. I mean, yeah,
well,
look, why don't, like, next time you do it at the bar, do it again at the same bar. Ask them, look, I need to do it again. And then why don't you bring like a an iPad, and then
so,
okay,
so they can order it right there.
they can order right there. If they do, you've got prepared, I don't know, you've got printed a couple of things that or you could either ship. No, you know what? You click the gift option on the Amazon, and then you're the one writing, whatever, the messages in the gift thing.
There is a thing they have now because of COVID, that when all the bookstores were closed and people were and authors couldn't do, they canceled all the book signings of the authors. It's called a book plate. So if you buy the book and you want the author to sign it, the author sends a book plate. Now it's not a real plate that you eat off of. It's some kind of like I have never seen one, but it's some kind of a board thing that what you would have is that this is a book, the plate kind of goes as a cover over it, or you slide it on it, and then it has the signature on it, blah, blah, blah. And that's how they were doing that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know if I bought a book of an author and they sent me this plate and I put it on there. I don't know if I would feel like
Hmm.
that that's as good as a real signature that goes on there. Um, but
Huh.
I do know that uh, that's the thing. It's like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and because I don't want to ship anything to anybody. That
No.
much I know.
Yeah.
Let them go ahead and get it from Amazon. But if can I mail somebody the book plate and so forth? Sure. I'm going that extra mile, all that kind of stuff. I thought people were going to bring their books so I could sign it. I could do the cartoon in the back, whatever they want, blah blah. But yesterday was my first book signing for
Yeah.
cocktails, and that was a big issue. Now, the good thing is that they wanted the book. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the thing. They just didn't want to have to carry it around. So I'd have a bigger problem if people saw the book and they're like, eh. Then I'd be like, oh my god, what do I do now for this book? So I have to.
Right.
I do have to pivot with that. Where my next event is not at a bar; it's actually at a festival. So it's just going to be a table where everybody's walking around to different vendors buying stuff. So that is a different story because people are there actually to buy things. They're not trying to eat and whatever. Their car is going to be right there, and they'll, so that works out really well for me. But
Yeah, you
going
have
to
the
a bar,
inventory right now. So yeah, I understand what you're
yes,
saying. You need to, yeah, you need to unload the inventory. And on the other hand, it's very convenient for folks to just go on Amazon and order it and receive it
yes.
at home.
and 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 guess what? Another thing about New York that I didn't realize is that now I have to take those books home. I don't have a car. I have so much stuff because my duffel bag, my backpack is already so much, and now this box of all these books. I mean, I did sell books there, but not enough. I was like, so now I have to bring this back. So
Yeah.
these are all things that because it was my first time, and I think this is what happens with a lot of small businesses. They you don't want to sell your business short. You never want to stand there and people wanting to buy books and you don't have enough copies for them, right? Okay. But you don't want to have to be stuck that way. I just really didn't think
Right.
uh, the people who bought the books were going right home.
Right.
That was the thing. They're like, yeah, I'm heading straight home, blah, blah, whatever. It was, I mean, it was a great event. Everybody who went had a great time. It was a lot of fun, but it is, it they say anybody who is successful has had more failures than people who just quit from the first failure.
Exactly,
Like
exactly. So
it's just they knew how to keep on pushing.
all right, it's I think in terms of selling your book, okay. So at that event, people wanted to buy it, but not maybe on under that form. So it's just then it creates like a market, like you've got the inventory and you've got the demand, but maybe for a different inventory. So it's
Right.
the
And I
same thing.
also
You could have sold it with using the 5 parameters. Like obviously, if you have too many books, you're not going to
well,
be
first of
able.
all, they couldn't see how many books I even had. But another issue for me was I was afraid of someone stealing my inventory because I was in New York. If I were in Quakertown, there you could put your stuff out and it's Quakertown. Nobody, like legit, nobody's going to take anything. But in that bar, because I used to work at that bar, I used to work security where I would see people come in groups of 3 or 4. Where if you're standing there, I come up to you and I'm like, "Hey, sexy, how you doing?" Blah blah, and you turn to me while the other person goes around the other way to take your wallet to do what I saw it in the security camera how people would do that. So me holding that event, I was also very aware that I didn't want someone to take my books, but to take the coasters that I had put there that my cousin made for me, whatever, like all of that. I was like, oh my god, this is just. But this is
Yeah.
how I learned. It was just that kind of a thing. But I know that the books that I'll have at the next event, I'm going to tell them those are the special edition books. They have a cartoon in the back that was hand drawn. When these all sell, they sell. I'm not going to do any more of those kind of like that hand drawn one thing in the back to create, like you say, the scarcity and all that. And do it that way. But the
Right, it's just
pivoting is
yeah. So sorry, go ahead.
no, the pivoting is uh I know that I have to really push now to find the ways to sell it more online, having people buying it from Amazon. I have to amp that up, and there's different ways that I can do that, sure. Uh,
But
but
there's it's just different experience. Like the experience is everything. The distribution, the price, all these parameters. But you could say, you could buy it from me right now, and the commission that usually Amazon takes, it's going to go to me. So and that some people
right,
might value that. uh, you could say, oh, you want the convenience of just buying it now, and if you do, I'll write down a little dédicace. How do you say that? Like,
dedication, yeah,
what's it called?
dedication, a
Dedication.
dedication.
uh and find a way that it is for free, like the gift thing, before he clicks on, buy, he just put the option thing, and third option maybe, do you want to give us a feedback, because that's also valuable for you, having feedback from people. And here's, the other iPad where you can just write your own dedication, but it's reversed.
Right,
and
right, right.
and yeah, all of that is just an experience, and it's different, different way to experience the
And
same.
it's also, I remember with the memoir, because it was obviously had a lot of personal stories in it, and people's reaction to it was a little different. But with the cocktails, I understand. I'm happy that for me, somebody picked up the book, right? I have one book that was like being, anybody can look at whatever. This guy took the cocktails and did this and looked at each one through the entire book, and then closed it and then he walked away.
My God, what an asshole.
No, he read the whole book, and I mean, funny guy. I I I
Oh
was
my God.
I was so blown by that. But then someone else, I hadn't seen him in a long time. I met, and he brought his boyfriend. I never met his boyfriend before. He he's like, I don't even know what book you have, whatever. He only came because I texted him. He's not on social media or anything like that. So he looked at the book, and then he shows it to the boyfriend. The boyfriend starts looking. He only looked at a couple, and he laughed. He looked at three of them. He laughed. I was like, oh my God, let's get it, let's get it. That was it. Some people look at 3 pages and they think, okay, it's great. Let's go ahead and buy it. That other guy flipped through all the pages,
Right.
didn't laugh a single time, and then he put the thing back. But
My gosh.
as a business owner, it's so easy to get. I always remind myself: do not get attached to the result.
Right.
Get attached to the process. I know what I put into it. I know what it's worth based on what I put into it and how I love it. If I let how other people receive it decide what I consider for its quality, it can be a very dangerous road.
Well, you can have a way to cope with that, you can make it noticeable, at least, maybe in a fun way, or in a way that puts you at your advantage. Like, I don't know, sir, you've read all of it now. I'm gonna, this is a gift for you, or should I send it to your address? I don't know.
Yeah. So and of course for me, like I always tell everybody, let it sit for a few days after the event. Think about it in your mind: what worked, what didn't, what you want to try.
Yeah,
And just learn the lessons and make it better at the next one.
because in
I'm
some of
glad that the
these,
next one's not at a bar.
I'm glad that what?
I'm glad the next one's not at a bar. It'll be interesting to see the difference in me being at a festival at a table where people are just coming up, or people are at that venue to buy stuff. That's why they're there, is to buy stuff, versus people who are at a bar to drink with their friends and so forth. It was a younger crowd too, which is interesting, because I think with a younger crowd, they're more likely to say, I don't want to carry it. I don't want to carry it. And whereas someone else, actually, the ones who said, I'm going home, they were older. That's why they were going to keep partying on a Saturday night. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy the book if I knew I was going to a club or to another bar to go dancing.
Yeah.
There's no coach check.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that either. So that was a very good lesson for me to learn.
I'm also thinking, just out loud. You could offer at your book signing, look, if you have an idea of a drawing and you pitch it to me, you want to make it a poster, or like something that you hang on your wall. I can also do that, especially if I like your idea, and that's also something you can offer.
And because when people want me to, like, if people want me, there's a blank page in the back and I can do a cartoon there. I remember thinking it's like, oh, I'm going to do that's a special edition is where I draw a cartoon on that blank page just in the back of the book. The book I charge is $20 to get the hand drawn thing back there. Instead of a book being 10, it's 20. And some people did that, which is surprising.
You draw a drawing at the end, like a last one. No,
yeah,
what was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the when you buy cocktails, Amazon I don't know why, but they printed an extra page that's just blank on both sides. Was not
Okay.
supposed to be there. But now what I did was like I created a cocktail. I had a cocktail idea about being in New York, like with the New York, a Long Island iced tea and a Manhattan. Those are two drinks. So it was them talking. And I drew that on the back of a bunch of the books, and those were $20, and the regular ones that I was drawing were
Uh-huh,
10. So
uh-huh.
some people wanted that special edition hand drawn
Ah, that's nice. I
cartoon.
see.
So that works. But when there's some people like, oh, I just want a special drawing, whatever. And I ask them, so what's your favorite drink? They'll tell me, oh, a Cosmo. It, I have to, I now know what I have to do is I have to have certain cartoon ideas for the drinks ahead of time.
Exactly, exactly.
Because when you tell me Cosmo, I don't know. It takes me a long time to come up with some of those ideas.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but how to make the value of what they're getting greater by it being like me drawing some hand thing.
Yeah.
But if they gave me an idea,
Yeah.
that becomes tricky because then they could, well, I could maybe do that for their book and that's it. But if they gave me an idea, I can't use that for my stuff because technically they wrote it, is how they'll claim anyway. Um, but if you said, hey, Achilles, I have a drink for a screwdriver. I want it to be blah, blah, blah. Okay, I guess
Yeah.
I can draw that and do that and so forth. Why not? And put that in the back of the book.
I mean, you don't
Yeah,
want to
so
do
that
everything. I mean, you have to choose whatever you know.
it's yes, and I'm not a fast drawer.
Right. And that
Even though the
that's
cartoons are
good.
very simple, I'm not fast. That was always a problem for me. So we'll see. But that's why I like the idea what you're saying with the businesses and like when and how to pivot. How to have an emotional support system without feeling like you're compromising or bad mouthing your own business, which is a
Right.
struggle.
Exactly.
Um, how to keep how to be genuine about your excitement about the business. That's why I don't like to fake it till you make it. Because what some people are faking is their excitement, and your excitement needs to be genuine. Um,
Mhm.
and all those kind of topics I think are great, um, for sure. So I think that that's going to go really well. So what we'll do is for the next session, and each time we do it, it's like you said, but each week will be a little bit better about having it break down like that and having those topics. I think you're um, really really good about being open about how things are for the good stuff, the hard stuff, all of that.
Yeah.
And same here. I'm like, if I make a mistake, I don't have a problem sharing it because maybe somebody else will learn from it.
Yeah. I'm still thinking about how to handle, that customers that takes the magazine or the book, reads it all, puts it back.
Okay,
Uh,
but Rafa, I have to say, I have many times I've gone into a comic book store and done that with a comic book, and I put it back. So who am I to judge?
I did it too.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
but
can't.
and
What
and
what
and you also want to be that type of book signing that you actually need to buy before getting the book signing. No, because you want people to discover, you want people to, you're not,
well,
that's
there's
not
just
the type
people
of
at the
experience you want, I'm guessing.
yeah, and there's some people who are just happen to be at the bar. They're like, oh, what's this? Let me check it out. But the only thing I say about the guy who flipped through all the pages, like I've done that, so I'm not going to sit to say how dare you. What surprised me is that he did it with me standing right next to him, knowing that I wrote and drew the book. Okay, so I wouldn't do it if the author and illustrator was standing there watching me.
That's
But
very funny.
that's the part that I was like, oh, it's like, oh my god. And then I'm thinking, did he want to stop after page 8, but then he didn't want to be rude and stop reading it? So he did. Would he do go the whole book for my sake, or was it for his? Hell, why not? You know what? I don't even care. So I
Oh,
just didn't
oh
care.
my gosh, yeah,
But
I
he was
understand.
reading them. He was reading them all the way through, but he never laughed once. That's what I thought was. To me, I thought that was funny. Like he didn't have to listen. Everybody else were looking at it. They thought it was great. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But
Yeah.
everybody's different. They were telling me they want that they I should do one in Spanish. Oh my god! I said half those jokes don't even translate. Um, but to do some that using like Spanish humor, right? That the way that the Spanish ones would do it, I mean, I'm not 100% sure.
You cannot
A
do
lot of it,
everything, you know. It's just you have to choose, and
yes,
not you're not going to cater for every customer, including people like me who sometimes don't understand. It's just, you know, it's for the people who understands it. It's for the
yeah.
people who enjoys it, etc. I would
Somebody
love
wanted it to
to
be,
learn, you know, the cultural tricks behind and all of that, but you cannot do that. You know, you cannot. You know, you just have you're
yeah,
doing your thing and it works, and that what counts. What counts is that it
yeah.
works.
I was like, 5 years from now, I'll come out with a big hardcover book that explains the process and all the things. And sure, why not? When I have a publishing company that's going to do all the work for me. So we'll see.
You
All
can
right.
do an
So
animated. You can do a lot of things, you know.
yeah,
Yeah,
you can
this
do a
could be
lot
a
of things. And
movie, man. That's it. You've made it. You know, you only need to make it once. Go and talk to these people. You know, I don't know. Just I'm just kidding. I don't know. But yeah, it could definitely be. It could definitely be.
okay, so as far as our thing goes, then we're going to I'm going to work on my video, right? For that it would be like for the Instagram thing for the French MBA under a minute. Um, and so you said you'll do yours during the week. So I'll do my complete one. I'll do the recording tomorrow morning, but I'll go ahead and do all the edits and stuff like that for mine, so I can show you like, okay, this is what I think it can look like. I'll make sure I send you something that if you wanted to use it, you can. But then you'll also have your own that's going to be in English, and because uh, those videos are doing ads that way. I think we're going to pull in a lot better for Facebook and for Instagram, using it not just for the French MBA, but also for getting instructors, for just getting people for into my French community, whether they want to be the baby warriors or rubies, whatever. I think it's such a simple format. You do videos so quickly, so easily. It's just this is just kind of like a different structure to it. But once you get the knack for that, as you keep doing it, you'll be churning out those videos all the time. Those real estate agents, that's where I learned how easy it could be when I worked at the real estate office, because they would like take their camera and they would just be at a house and say, hey, so
Yeah.
here at this house we're walking through, blah, 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 blah. They got to put all the information, and it had to stay within Instagram, blah, 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 in the 60 seconds, and just do this. And they never added anything to it, because they didn't have time. They were going from one house to the next, open house. This is what's going on. Come now, with the scarcity, the urgency. This is what the house looks like.
Yeah.
Great. Well, and they were just like, yeah, I don't have time to really make the video look so special. If the information is really good and if you're dynamic on video, which you are, yeah, it won't need to be too complicated. So yeah, we'll see how that looks.
All right, sounds good. Okay. So 25 minutes at the end, video. I'll do the English video now. I'm trying to commit to French and English because it's the same video. So
right.
And at the beginning, it's probably not going to be good at all, but then hopefully it'll prove through time.
Actually, and then what we'll do is that at our next session, the 25 minutes of the business side, right, that we'll be discussing, it'll be doing video ads, because we'll have the ads to show. We'll look at it, right? We'll be for that, we can be on Zoom, so I can show my ad, you can show your ad, we can have that whole discussion. That is something everybody, I think a lot of people, even if they're not a small business owner, they'll like to see like just how easy and hard doing that stuff is. So that's what we'll do. We'll make the next session be the stuff for the video content. And that way I'll definitely have my video thing ready by then.
So your video you're sending also by midweek or today?
I'm gonna send it by midweek. I'll send it by midweek, because I'll make sure that looks strong for the ad.
What?
Yeah, I think it'd be cool for people to see how the video ad campaign was created, and putting themselves out there with video. Yeah, I like that. And then the discussion that we can have after that, the second 25 minutes, that topic, we can kind of play around with to see like what how we want to connect that with the first part. We can even turn to be with the authenticity of people, you know, and how to engage them with that and not be so
Yeah.
extra. I don't like to do the videos that they're like, this man, they make it all. They're too excited or not excited enough. I've seen
Right.
both things
Right.
happen a lot. So we'll see.
Hmm.
All right, cool. Anything else?
Um. So I was looking at
I
the
know
quick. Yeah.
and I'm gonna and I'll show Trello at the session too. I'll have that set up because I think that'd be good for people to see.
What's that? You'll what?
The Trello
Oh,
account
Trello.
to show
Trello. Yeah, I know. I
online.
know
Yeah.
Trello. I've been using it in the past a lot. Uh, I honestly not. I'm not sure we actually need Trello because Trello also is for when you want to assign tasks to people. So you have several people, you see it being done, and it's a lot
Oh,
of
right,
it's
right.
sure it's a lot of maintenance. Trello, and honestly, just let me share my screen. Just number 3. Just on Rise here. Do you see my screen here working?
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Number
Achilles
14.
celebrating the journey.
Yes.
So, uh,
So we could just throw it in there then.
so here is just a succession of points that we can have. And last week, for example, we talked about the virtual party. Being creative. You talked about business suite, and we linked. Uh, I gave you the admin
Right.
rights. Schedule emails I didn't do. You see, for example, having everything on Gmail.
Mm.
It's still on the to-do list because it wasn't. I didn't. Actually, this I took that to-do list and then I put it somewhere else where I prioritize what I need to do, and this wasn't a priority for me at that point. So it's normal that it's not being done. But yeah, maybe I should. Yeah, I should have done this. And I talked to you about the subscribe. The subscribe.
Uh,
Subscribe to news and saying application ongoing or closed. That's very easy to do. I think I can deal with that as well. And I didn't do it either. It wasn't a priority. Virtual party post every Monday. You did that. You
yep.
did it. And the one video of 5 minutes, I just did it. It's this video. It's this video in French, and I'm going. Let me try and do it. Let me do it right now after write this after our session, and do it in English and just send it out, uh, or by midweek. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and then update start. I didn't do, wasn't priority, but yeah, the idea is for me to produce a video in French and in English every week up until August the 3rd. So one today. Right, so another
Yeah.
7 videos, 8 videos, and then yeah, that's it. I'm pitching for, unless you think Trello is necessary.
Well, no, because I think what I can do is through Rise, yeah, is to just I'll create the topic
Yeah.
of those sessions and what those topics would be. I think that's smart. Yeah, we can do that way. I'll have to think of a name to give those sessions to treat it like a podcast, right?
Right.
And pull people in that way. Using the French. Um, yeah, I'll call
Uh,
it squeeze in the French until we get a better name.
Freeze in the French.
Squeeze in the French, right?
Squeeze in the
Isn't
French.
that
Yeah, why not?
yeah?
Yeah. One video in English for me, one for you. Um, and then yeah, topic for the 25-minute podcast, squeezing the French. And I don't know if 12 of them would be a target, for for what we're doing now? I don't know what you think about
Well,
that.
I think July, August, and September. Yeah.
Uh, July,
Yeah,
August.
because if we did 12, what that would do is that'll take us right to the end of the French MBA session, because that goes from August to the end of September.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. I believe you. And then uh okay.
Business things. YouTube.
All to do, you know, item spanning. And then, it's just a to do here, and then, you're your
Right.
own boss, and
Okay.
I'm my own boss, and
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. I like that.
and yeah, maybe for example, today we discussed about a little bit about when to pivot, when and why
Yes.
in your business, and we also discussed about the
Emotional support.
right emotional support uh, for small business owners, or even any business owners.
Right.
And then you talked
And
about how.
going from desire to decision.
Mhm. What did we say about that? I'm not sure. I know you
Well,
shared about.
what? Well, I was saying, like, what does it take for someone to finally decide to do something?
And
People
what's the
have things.
takeaway from what we said?
Well,
Not
that was
sure.
just a possible topic that we were gonna,
Oh,
you
it's
know,
a possible
to
topic. Yeah,
discuss.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, we didn't really discuss about
But we
this.
didn't get into that part. We talked more about the whole pivoting and like when I used the example about the books. Um, yeah.
Yeah, the experience of selling and a book signing. Is it a book signing event? Is that what it's called? Book signing event. Right, and choosing. Anyways, yeah. So we could maybe share about this a little bit in advance, so that or not. I don't know what you think. Um, it could be also spontaneous.
Yeah, I mean, you and I can know what the topic is. I think maybe as we do these more often, then we could even let people know, like, hey, especially if you know when for sure we're going to be meeting, if they wanted to watch it live, you could say that. But at the end, after it's all said and done, it might be that, okay, we know that every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, that video will go up on YouTube. People can kind of watch it then, and letting people know, like, hey, this video is now up, and this is what the topic is. So, I think as we do them week after week, it'll become more like fleshed out, as they say.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, okay. All right. I think I hear my brother.
All right,
He's
sir.
home now. He's about to bust in and ruin my session.
All right.
All right, cool. So I will talk to you later on, but I'll send you the video anyway. For sure by Wednesday. I'll have to have that done. So,
Yeah, I think it's better to have it by Wednesday. Yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. Thank you
Wednesday.
very much, sir.
All right. Tell
And
Nila I said hi, and then when I send you the video, you can always let me know what you think.
yeah, of course, of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay.
Yeah, same,
Uh,
same for you.
all right, my friend. I will. I'll
All
talk
right,
to you
merci
later on.
beaucoup, Achilles. Surtout, garde ta
All
femme
right.
intacte.
Yes. All right. Get